Yeah, forget the countdown. Look, it works again. Hey! God, what a palaver that was. I had to uninstall all my drivers for everything and the OBS software and then download an old version of it and then reinstall everything again. As soon as this stream's done, I'm disabling automatic updates because that was just a nightmare, and it's like the third time in as many months that this has happened. Anyway, a little bit later than advertised, apologies. So let's move that out of the way. So I've been working on this bit during the course of today just to get all these little dudes done, and it doesn't come out on camera very well, but it's not black, it's purple to blue, and you can kind of see the colour change there. Evening, Scott. Yeah, I don't know if you saw the stream half an hour ago, but my camera here stopped working. But it's okay now, thank God. Yeah, so I did some little guys during the course of today, and a blue fade. I also found the pickups for you guitar nerds out there. If I can get this out of here because it's really tight. We've got an EMG 81 in the bridge and an EMG 60 in the neck, and they come as plastic. I just scuffed them up with like some 400 grit, wet and dry, primed, and then sprayed them black. Nice and simple. There's a myth that goes around that you can't paint guitar pickups, and that's rubbish. You can paint them as long as it's not, really thick. Then you're all right. You're not going to affect the sound. Keep it as thin as possible, and you're okay. So what I'm doing at the minute, if we look at this reference picture that I have here, I was studying all this lot here, all this detail, trying to figure out how the artist did it, and I've come up with the conclusion that he basically did bands of colour. So like he did a band of yellow, band of purpley blue, band of orange, then back to the purpley blue again, and then he just added the details using slightly darker tones and whites. So that's what I'm going for. I am currently trying to do this section here, and rather than do all those tiny little details bit by bit, I'm just spraying the whole bit orange, and then I can go in with some blacks, or well, it's not black, but like a purple and white and stuff, and add all the details in. I'm currently freehanding it and airbrushing around all those dudes there. And luckily my paint hasn't dried up because it's been sat in the airbrush for about an hour and a half. I think I'm going to need to add a drop of white in this because it's still too transparent. Too much of the black background is coming through. Somewhere I've got white. It's just the old 3.8x illustration white. Literally just one drop of that. Because I don't want to alter the colour too much. still very transparent. There's still a lot of the black coming through. Might need to add another one. Yeah, I think we need to add another one. Astral Solari, good evening. Hope you're doing well this evening, mate. Did you see the kerfuffle I had at 7 o'clock with my camera? Bloody thing. It's so annoying when software people release updates that disable your kit. I mean, admittedly, I'm using old kit. This camcorder that I'm using here is, well, it's the camera I bought to start my YouTube channel. So it's a good 12-15 years old, but it's still perfectly good. And I'll just use a little, it's like a little USB dongle. So I go from the HDMI out of this camcorder into this little USB dongle that converts HDMI to USB, and then that USB into the computer. And it normally works a treat, but for some reason the people who make my streaming software decided to do an update that disabled it. So I'll be sure to disable automatic updates before I shut the PC down tonight. Still not happy with how this is building up. It's taken a lot of layers. That's the trouble with black backgrounds sometimes. It can be a bit of a bugger sometimes. Thing is, I don't want to mask that off because I don't want the harsh edge. But I also don't want the overspray to turn them all orange. We'll see. Bit like a game card. Yeah, kind of. It's just like a USB stick, basically, and the HDMI lead goes in one end, and then there's a USB lead that comes out the other that plugs into the PC. There's not even any drivers for it. Windows automatically recognises it as a USB video device. So, God knows how you would go about fixing that, because there's no drivers to download or anything. So, They just want me to buy a new camera, don't they? Get a tip dry, first one in the evening. Now on the reference picture it's quite solid orange down the bottom there, so I need to get it better down here. They shoot themselves in the foot when they make something work perfect. That they do. Yeah. And if you're wondering why I've switched back to the old Oata Micron, no real reason. I've just got a new nozzle for it, and I haven't used her in a while, so I thought I'd plug her in. Evening, Mark. Yeah, I got it working. I uninstalled everything and reinstalled it, but an old version. That fixed it. So I shan't be updating my stream software ever again. Although I didn't physically do it. I had automatic updates turned on, stupidly. So it did it in the background. Did you see Dread FX uploaded on YouTube today on getting rid of trigger lag on the Infinity? I did not see that, no. That's a good way of describing it, actually. I've tried to describe the difference between the Micron and the Infinity's trigger before, and that's an excellent way of describing it, actually. The Infinity has a bit of trigger lag. Let's search for that quickly so I know to watch it later. So Dread FX go. Dread FX custom plate. And it is making your Infinity more responsive in the trigger department. Brilliant. I will watch that after the stream. Thanks, mate. Because yeah, that's my only gripe with the Infinity, and it's a minor one because you adjust the way you paint to accommodate it. So it's only a minor gripe with me, but if the trigger was as responsive as the Iwata's Micron, then there'll be a serious contender, because the Infinity's still a lot cheaper than the Micron, isn't it? It used to be a case of you could really tell the difference because the Harder and Steenbeck's needles were really soft and they bent really easily, but that doesn't appear to be the case anymore. But from what I've been told, Iwata now own Harder and Steenbeck anyway. I won't tell you how he does it, it's genius. Cool. Yeah, thanks for the heads up, mate. I'll have a look at that. I shall have a play with that. Question is, how high does this orange bit have to go? That is the question. Down there so I don't bend it. Let's get my reference picture. So just up to about there. It's not too bad. That's cool, so nearly high enough. We want to go up to about there-ish. This bit of paper will bugger off out of the way. Stay. That's going to annoy me, I can tell. don't know if you guys saw on Instagram and that lot, by the way. After last week's live stream, that chap, whose name escapes me again, I'm terrible. If he watches this, I do apologise. I'm gonna have to find it now. Watch, it won't be in my things. Gerald Okamura. I hope I've pronounced that right, but that's this actor, and he went on my Instagram and liked and commented my stuff on the picture of this. Chuffed to bits with that. Have to admit, I didn't know his name, so when I saw that there was an official somebody or other that had commented, I was like, oh, if he's an official, then he must be somebody. And I looked him up, and lo and behold, he's that actor. I was reading up on him, and he's been in loads of films over the years. Okay, so that's that orange bit. Although it does need to be slightly darker than that. It's a bit too carroty. It looks yellow on the camera. Trust me, it's orange. So we'll ditch that paint that's in there that's got the white in it. And then we'll just go with a bit of plain old orange. So it's the illustration orange, funny enough. And I'm not reducing or anything like that, just straight out the bottle into the airbrush. That's better. Yeah, now it looks orange on the camera. That's fantastic. It's nice when things like that happen. It is indeed. You must be following the hashtag Big Trouble in Little China or something, because I didn't know his name or anything, so I didn't even know he had an Instagram. So I didn't tag him or anything like that. Just wash out the orange. I don't need that anymore. You guys got any cool projects on the go at the moment, or nothing on the paint bench at the minute? What are you working on? blue, that's the black. Where is my purple? There it is. Good evening, Buck. I'm all good, mate. How you doing? Right, so now I've got a bit of Bloodline Vascular Violet, which is the blue that I'll put all down here. The bluey purple, anyway. We're going to need a drop of white in it, otherwise it will just look black. And reduce it down a little bit. Only put about 50% reducer, and I won't bother about any transparent base. The innuendo is so easy. I know, that's why I set it up like that. Learning Blender, but YouTube tutorials are a nightmare to follow, especially that Blender has updated something of a sore subject for both of us. Yeah, I sometimes look at Blender, and it's one of those things that I'd like to have a play with, but I've got no reason for really learning it. I did start learning ZBrush, or ZBrush, however you want to say it. I've been dabbling away with that in the background for about a year now, and I can get by with ZBrush now. If somebody says they need something sculpted that's not too technical, then I can actually do it. Right, so this purple bit is to go practically up in line with the top of the bridge cutout. And it needs to extend. Zoom out a bit so I don't go off camera. Low hanging fruit. Needs to extend up to about there-ish, I reckon. I was saying that, it does look like it's in the background of the green bit all up there. So it might be worth me just painting the whole thing. Nah, let's not. Let's leave it at that for now. Fade that into the orange a bit more. Cool, right. Get rid of all of that. Right, I won't bore you with painting all of that lot, because that will be very long and very boring. So let's crack on with this bit up here, I reckon. And I'll do all the buildings and stuff that go here off stream, because we don't want you nodding off, do we? My son is a game programmer and wants me to produce the art for him, so I have to learn animation, Unity and Unreal. That's nice. It's like, you will learn this, you will do this for me. I had the same sort of thing when my son was doing one of his exam pieces for his college project. He needed something modelled, and we used what was it, Fusion 360, and I kind of had to learn it and then show him how to use it so then he could model what he needed. It's like, why have I got to learn it for you to be able to do it? Why don't you just go and learn it? It was interesting though. So all I'm doing here is I've got a white pastel. It's a chalk pastel, not an oil-based one, and I am just scribbling on the back side of this bit here so I can mark out the hand and just trace it down. If you're wondering what I'm doing. Do it. And then we get Mr. Template, line it up where it lives, just like that, and then you get a nice hard pen. Who's passing the college course? Yeah, I could have. It was really interesting. It was studying engineering, and the stuff he got to play with in their workshop and that, I was very jealous. I'm just going to quickly trace around his hand. Just roughly. I'm not drawing in all of the detail or anything like that. I just need a rough layout of where everything needs to go. The joy of using a chalk-based pastel as opposed to an oil one, or a coloured pencil that's wax-based or something, is that it won't affect the paint at all, because it's just chalk at the end of the day. It doesn't cause any problems, other than maybe a bit of adhesion problems, but as long as you don't put it on the surface really thick. You'll see in a minute, I'll rub most of this off once I've traced it down. Do I need any more than that? Or will that do it? That would probably do it. So, we now remove my paper template. And there we go, we've got his hand where it needs to be, but there's also a lot of extra chalk that we don't need down here and all sorts, so just give it a good rub with your finger. And all that extra stuff disappears. Just like that, and you're left with what you need. It's a great way of transferring an image down. Your dogs can learn new tricks. Yeah, definitely. But doesn't go in as fast. You got that right. You can use Stabilos as well. Ah, yeah. Yeah, you can. I now have white all over my hand. That is really annoying me that it won't bugger off. Get over there, you bloody thing. Yeah, I've used these chalk-based pastels for a while now, and I just like the fact that they won't react with the paint at all. Because I made the mistake of using a wax-based coloured pencil once, and of course water-based paints don't adhere to wax. It was a nightmare. So was your uncle happy with the Star Wars art? He was over the moon, bless him. He was actually on stream last week. He popped in to say hello. But yeah, he loved it. So, job's a good one. Gave him a present that he liked, and it didn't cost me any money. Which are always the best type. Dennis, good evening. How are you doing, mate? Hope all is well with you. Right, so I need a green now. Like a Larry lime green. Yeah. What Larry lime green? Way too dark. Two base. Yeah, I think that is. Let's see what happens when we add some white to this. So I've got some illustration moss green, which is way too dark. I'll add some white into it and see if we can't get near the right sort of tone. Wing it as per usual, basically. Time is money, so you created value. Yeah, hopefully. You never know. When I'm dead, it might be worth some money. Getting better now. How's yourself? Oh, I'm glad to hear you're doing all right, mate. Yeah, all good here. Other than my camera uninstalling itself when I started the stream, all is good. Right, so I've put 5 drops of that moss green into my paint cup. I'm going to add 1 drop of white at a time and see what happens to it. I don't normally like mixing colours like this because then if I go to it at a later date I can never remember what the recipe was for that colour. That's going to look muddy. You ain't got yellow and green. Make a brighter mix. That moss is muddy, man. Spray on paper first. Yeah, I will spray it on paper first. Now you see, that's not too bad. It's still too dark. So I'm going to add some more. Put in, what was it, 5 drops of green. I've now got 5 drops of white in it. We'll see what it does. See, I think that's perfect. That looks brilliant. I get this on camera. See that green? That's yeah, it does look crazy lime green on the print. On my thumb. Yeah, let's spray that, see what happens. So we need some reducer in there. So that's 5 drops of green with 5 drops of white. So I must remember that. A little bit of old reducer. Get it all over my finger as usual. Yeah, that looks like a fairly good match. I'm quite happy with that. Yeah. Hold it, let's spray it and see what happens. Of course, it might look completely different on a black base. We shall see. And this green comes off of that finger a bit. So that one, there's a little finger. That's got 2 stripes of yellow, then the blue. So that comes off of there. And shoots off around there like that. We've got another one that arcs down off of that finger. And shoots across there like that. Yeah, that's cool. Look, I'm practically off the camera. That's better. Yeah, there are some yellow bits that come in here, which I'll do in a minute. There's also like mottled purple, you know, like when you get a toothbrush and flick it on, there's bits of purple all across there that do that as well. But this base green is pretty spot on. There you go, there's the print. I'm just doing the base green of this bit. But yeah, you've got all these purple streaks, all the little purple flecks, you've got some yellow streaks that are coming off of this end, etc, etc. Got that wicked purple anyways, just get the wife's toothbrush, you'll never know. Yeah, can you imagine, honey, why have my teeth turned purple? Your ghost in the hand before. I think, yeah. Look, it has the greenish shadow color. Yeah, yeah, it does. It's yeah, it's kind of got this green in the fingers, but then like the highlights are yellowy. So I'll probably paint them with this green, and then I'll go in with like a transparent yellow over the top. Yeah, the face is the same green as well, but a lot more yellow in that. There's much more yellow in there. Nah, I'd be making. I was going to say you could paint the whole upper half of the guitar in this green and then come in with some black and some purple, but that's just making more work for yourself, isn't it? What's the ratio? You might want to write it down here. Luckily it's not a hard one. 5 drops of moss green with 5 drops of white. What trans paints do you use? Every time I ask for transparent airbrush paint, they look at me as if I'm stupid until they don't do any. Any paint can be transparent with adding the transparent reduce. Yes, that's very true. Any paint can be made transparent basically, with the right reduction. Obviously be careful you don't over reduce stuff. If you're adding a lot of reducer, then add a few drops of the transparent base just to keep everything binded together. But I find the Createx illustration paints are pretty transparent anyway. Especially the yellow. They're all nice and transparent, to be fair. If any paint says opaque on the front of it, then that won't be very transparent, obviously. But yeah, as a rule of thumb, I find just the normal Createx illustration paints, they're pretty transparent as they are. They offer both opaque or transparent. Oh, there you go. And the most opaque paints I've ever used are Trident. They're really heavy on the old pigment, which is great for coverage if you want to cover a large area quickly. They're not very transparent at all. They can be made transparent, like I say, with reducing and stuff, but straight out the bottle, Trident is pretty potent stuff. Just mark on here where his hair comes. My annoying bit of paper again. Ignore this print, by the way. This print is like 10 years old, so it's a bit sun bleached. But it's got the information I need on it, so I didn't bother printing that one. Where did I put my pen? There it is. I got myself confused with transparent inks. Ink versus paint, same things, same principles apply. Yeah, although I find inks are a lot more, or at least the inks I've used are a lot more like candies. How can I describe it? I'll show you, hold on. Let me just mark out where this has got to go. So that's got to come along there, down there like that. So if I cover that area in green, right. Put that down so I'll forget where I put it. Rub most of that off. So what we're going to talk about, oh yeah, inks. So for inks, I've got a bunch of these Liquitex stuff, and these act more like a candy. So if you imagine a paint kind of being like marbles in a bucket of water, so all the paint pigment is the marbles and the water is the binder they use. In a paint, the marbles are a solid colour. In a candy, they're see-through marbles. Does that make sense? So a candy is a true transparent, so an ink, obviously it depends what ink you're using, but the inks I use are a true transparent. Whereas with a transparent paint, like on here, if you spray enough of it, it becomes a solid slab of colour. Whereas if I did that with an ink, I would never get to that colour because it would be properly transparent. The black would still show through, if that makes sense. But a lot of inks you get aren't very light fast, so that's something you have to watch out for. If you don't know what light fast is, it's when the UV rays from the sun bleach it out. So if you paint something with something, for example, a few years ago, there was a guy who drew all over his Lamborghini with a Sharpie marker. He did all these intricate designs and stuff all over his Lamborghini. It was a white Lamborghini. He drew stuff all over it with a black Sharpie. And it was in the press and everything. Everybody was going, oh, what a fantastic piece of artwork and that lot. And then 6 months later, you couldn't see the Sharpie marker because the sunlight had bleached it all out, because Sharpies aren't light fast. That's something you have to watch out for. Still on camera? Yeah. Move it over a bit though. I'm airbrushing Italian stonework. Lots of shadows that might work better in transparency. Yeah. The spray so well when illustrating. Yeah, transparency is good for stonework. You'll save some time and variation of hues. I want the paint to spray like inks. You can make your own colour with clear base on the tone. Yeah. Yeah, for shadows, definitely go with a transparent. Wicked Shadow Black. I think it was called Shadow Black. You get that and reduce that 50-50. That was a beautiful like shade in black that was really transparent. I'm coming to the bottom of my paint. I have to mix up some more of it. Smoke black, that's the one. Yeah, Wicked Detail Smoke Black, that was the one. That was lovely and transparent once you reduced it 50-50. Big gobber tip dry. Get that off of there. And this has got to go all the way down there, okay? So all the way across here. Do you have Aztec gold in your stash for Princess? Perfect over the reds. No, I don't have Aztec gold. No. That's alright. This image has got an awful lot of yellow in it. Like an awful lot. Like even the girls, they're just, everything's yellow. It's almost like he painted it and then went over the whole painting with like a candy yellow or something. So what I'll probably do with the girls is I'll paint the dress. Get it on camera. I'll paint the dress red. And then I'll go in with a white and do all the detail, and then go with yellow over the top, and that will put that yellow hue on the red as well. Same with the detail on there. I'll use a detail white or something, paint it all in white, and then just do a transparent yellow over the top, I reckon. That should do it. Here we go, and he's got wisps of hair coming in over here, but I'll do that with black later. So the base is there. It's cool. I'll do the purple splats later, like with the yellow. So is there much of this green in his fingernails? Not a lot. Okay. Shame I'm not in the UK. I'll be here. You need this, and this, and enjoy. Oh, and here's an unused smoke black. I find yellow base is brilliant for red. Yes. Evening, Mr. Savage. Hope you're alright, buddy. Yeah, Dennis, you're right. A yellow base is amazing for red. When I'm doing like the Mummy guitar that's got like the fire fade, it starts off at a deep red and goes through to bright yellow, and you've got all like the oranges and stuff in between. I purposely, some people do like a band of yellow and then a band of orange and then a band of red and that sort of thing, and it's all well and good in that lot as long as you got your fades okay. But I tend to do like the whole thing yellow and then come in with the orange and just start a little bit lower down and do the whole thing orange, and then a little bit lower down and do the whole thing red. And I find that although it uses up a ton of paint, it creates a really nice fade that I personally think looks better than doing a bit of yellow and a bit of red and that sort of thing, because you're putting the paint on top of the previous colour. It adds to the effect, I think. Almost looks like yellow ochre might be best for the decrepit hands. Yeah, it might do actually, because it's not a in your face yellow, is it? It's a bit off. Yeah, definitely some sort of ochre. And the apple red is nice when you use a gold base. Silver base makes a pinkish red gold. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. What did I do that on? I did it on a hard hat. Where I did like a sparklescent silver base, and then put the candy red over the top, and it came out so pinky purple. It was unbelievable. But yeah, then I switched to a gold, and it looked gorgeous. So yeah, definitely a gold base under candy apple red. Just whoa. Didn't even notice you're back on the micron. You found your parts. Yes, yeah, I did. No real reason for switching to the micron other than I haven't used it for a while. So she's got a new nozzle. She's working nice. So I thought I'd stretch her legs tonight. So Micron versus Infinity. I find the trigger is better on Iwatas. The flow is similar. Yes. 100% agree. If it wasn't for the trigger lag that Infinities have, then I reckon they would be identical. They are to me anyway. I can do exactly the same with either airbrush. It's just the trigger lag on the Infinity that separates them. Oh, my posture's all wrong tonight. My ribcage hurts. What time we got? 2 minutes past 9. Blimey. So the missus will be on her way home. Not sure if I would recommend the Iwata over the Infinity for just over £200 difference, and parts ain't cheap either. Yeah, if yeah, I would say if you've got like however much a Micron is these days, like £300-400, burning a hole in your pocket, then go ahead and get one. But if money's a bit of an object, then definitely the Infinity. What about the PS770? I've not tried that one, John. Can't say I've played with that one. See you another one that's good for detail. Here it is. That little puppy. The Evolution AI Plus. Oh, sorry, AL Plus. Made of aluminium. This thing weighs nothing. But you can get a good amount of detail out of that. To be fair, you can get good detail out of any airbrush, really. It's just easier to do with some brushes than others. I have one, that's one. Oh, right. Yeah, I've not played with that one, John, so I can't really comment, but I haven't heard anything bad about them. I like my Infinity, it's a real practical airbrush. Yeah, it's a nice one, mate. And it's coloured like Iron Man, you know, who doesn't like that? Have you seen that new one? There's some artist who's got like a signature Infinity out, and it's got all this It's got like all this artwork, like white pattern all the way down, like the red bit here. It's got all like this etched in pattern and stuff, and it looks really pretty. If I hadn't just bought one, I would have been tempted. But yeah, pretty much my three main brushes are the Micron, the Infinity, and covering large areas I've got this beastie. Which is made by Sparmax, if I remember rightly. Got no markings on it, but I think it's a Sparmax brush. But I do that for like laying down large areas of transparent base or priming and all that lot. That one. And that pretty much is my day-to-day setup, really. You must have more brushes. I bet you've got like 10 there. What have I got? We got the AL Plus that you've seen, then we got that one. Yeah, I've got a few here. What else we got? An old Olympus. That's a good one. That's done me well for years, that one. That's what we got here. Oh yeah. The old Badger Velocity. Another good one. Yeah, I've got loads kicking about. What time? 9:10. Alrighty, I best call it a night there before the missus pulls up on the drive and the dogs start barking like crazy and max out my mic and blow all your lovely ears to pieces. So yeah, that's how far we've got. I have 13 airbrushes. The Olympus is my favourite. Yeah, they're good, aren't they? Are they still in business? I don't know if they still make them or not. Anyway, yeah, I best call it there before the missus comes home and the dogs go nuts and she'll want a cuppa, etc, etc. So sorry about the balls up when the stream started. I know not to update my streaming software now. But you guys take it easy. Don't work too hard, and I will be back next Saturday. What's that? Congratulations, you've received 100 messages today with Restream. Oh, that's nice. Okay, see you later, guys. Don't know anything I wouldn't do. Catch you next week.